Hello, I'm the Pied Piper from the faraway land of night. Where people are sleeping, I go into their old radios and turn them into magic transistors and fly outside with them. You can't see me, I'm hidden, but you can see the green glow I make. I heard you laugh last night. I figured that you would be amused by me. Listen to this.
Hello, YouTube and YouTubeettes. Welcome to another Beach Boys related album review. Today I'm going to review Jack Rieley and Machiel Botman excerpts from a diary called Western Justice. This was recorded and produced in 1975, produced by Jack Rieley, and he was a manager for the Beach Boys in the early 70s, and he's probably one of my favorite managers the Beach Boys had, because he encouraged them to be more progressive and artistic, and his voice is heard on a couple of the tracks by the Beach Boys, A Day in the Life of a Tree and Mount Vernon and Fairway, the fairy tale. So, and he also wrote a lot of lyrics for the Beach Boys in that period. There's no record label that I can find, but copyright is by Chantry Music Inc., recorded in the Netherlands, which makes sense because the last album he did with the Beach Boys was recorded in Holland for the Holland album, and he wanted to stay there, and the Beach Boys wanted to go back to California, and also recorded in Abbey Road Studios. I believe I first heard about this in a Beach Boys message board called smileysmile.net/board. So that's like a diehard Beach Boys thing, and I've learned a lot of things from that. The album cover is a plain picture of an hourglass with simple typed font. Not much thought in it, and it's just like a picture just plastered on there. I'm not a big fan of this as an album cover. I give it a 5 out of 10. Now on to the songs. Track number 1 is America, a beautiful song. Mostly just comes in with piano and Jack Rieley singing, and just a nice little tune, very poetic kind of lyrics. The lyrics aren't as much of a hook necessarily, it's not the catchiest of songs, but I really love this song, and I give this one an 8.6.
Hot spit, there's a sun coming up and my mind's caught in the nighttime. La, 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 la.
Track number 2 is Hot Spit. This one's kind of got this Middle Ages folk song at the beginning, and then it kind of rocks in the chorus section. Very interesting song. Once again, higher on the poetry side. It's a little catchier than the first one, probably not as artistic, but still a really good song, and I give this one an 8.4.
I live sucking pleasure like milk through a straw.
Track number 3 is Cry Child Cry. This has kind of this interesting rocking, I'm not sure how to describe it, intro that is kind of cool. But then the rest of it is this really simple sort of country rock kind of thing with some, soulful backing vocals. It's too simple for me, just almost country-ish or something. I don't know how to explain that, but it's not a song that I really enjoy. It's really catchy. Has pretty good lyrics and well produced, but it's just a little too simple for me. And I give this one a 7.8. Track number 4 is called Brother, Sister, and Sister, Brother. This is a beautiful song. The whole intro section is just, I'm assuming that's Machiel Botman's voice, because I know who Jack Rieley's voice is, but the only other name I know of is Machiel Botman, sorry. And anyway, sorry, Machiel Botman. It's just his voice and the guitar, just a very folk kind of sound, very beautiful, very simple, and then it kind of becomes a bit more produced in that section. And I love the backing vocals that are just the title of the song, Sister and Brother, Brother and or something like that. Very cool. And I give this one an 8.2. Track number 5 is called Stuck, the Circle. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. Very beautiful symphonic piece with a lot of piano there, sung by Machiel Botman. Just a beautiful song, once again, artistic, beautiful, good lyrics, poetic lyrics, produced well. And I give this one a 9.4.
Use my machinery.
Track number 6 is called Organ Grinder. This is just a very catchy, basic rock song. It's very high on the catchiness side, but low on the artistic side, only a 2. And I'm not a big fan of this song. I do enjoy some of the organ sounds or keyboard sounds or whatever that's kind of in there, but other than that, I'm not a huge fan of this. Too basic, and I give it a 6.2. Track number 7 is Much to Discover, sung by Jack Rieley. I love this song. It's a beautiful song. Perhaps the only, I don't know if this is a weakness because I like it the way it is. Jack Rieley's voice is kind of too buried in the production, but and some might suggest that the lyrics don't quite work rhythmically, but that makes it kind of interesting to me. So that none of that bothers me. I just think this is a beautifully arranged song, very poetic lyrics once again, and I give it a 9.0.
It's been a half year now since we last seen rain. It seems skinny and my wife's been.
Track number 8 is called No Rain But Me, and it starts out with Jack Rieley singing kind of with this country twang a little bit, really catchy section, kind of quirky too. I kind of dig it, and then all of a sudden it hits the organ with a small soft section, and I think it's Machiel Botman once again singing that section, and it balances out each other well, and Jack Rieley also sings on that section. But it's kind of got this balance between this quirky catchiness, and then it goes to this beautiful thing. And so, yeah, I love what they do with this song, and I give it an 8.6. Track number 9 is called Slightly, and this is a beautifully written song. I just think it's poorly performed. And I'm not sure why, if it's the production or the vocal on this. I think it's Machiel Botman once again, but he's sung better on other songs, but for whatever reason I don't like his voice on this one as much. But there's some touching moments on it as well. So it feels like there's a great song trying to get out, but it just falls flat a little bit. I give this one an 8.0. Track number 9 is called Frogs, and my first impression of this song was that it sucks. But on further listen, for some reason I found myself kind of digging it a little bit. Like, it's not necessarily my style of music that I'm into, but it's well arranged for that kind of music. But also, I noticed Jack Rieley was talking in the background, and there's something just very strange about it, especially when the song's called Frogs. I just picture Jack Rieley as a frog in the background. And I don't know, there's just something very avant-garde about it, even though it's not meant to be. Well, I don't know if it's meant to be what, but like it's kind of like this really simple song with this, you know, very basic, I don't know if it's Jamaican music or what, but on further listen, you know, I raised my score from what it was when I first reviewed this at a 6.6 to a 7.6. So I've moved it up a whole point. And, you know, just there's something quirky about it, something a little strange that has grabbed my attention a little bit more. So 7.6 for Frogs.
We're neighbors, smile. Let's sing together.
The last song is called Western Justice, and this is a fantastic song. Well produced, beautiful, you know, great lyrics. I think it's kind of what do you call it? I'm blanking out here. A song with some political kind of song. And just, you know, I think it kind of lyrically reminds me, or at least in terms of message, like Heroes and Villains a little bit, where it's sort of calling for Western justice, you know, to help feed world hunger in other parts of the world. I guess with the you know, success or the wealth that we have here. And so there's a bit of socialism in there, I guess, or at least trying to get our country to be more in helping other countries. You know, just a quick thought here, like sometimes I think the problem might be the leadership in other countries, where we do give a lot of money to these countries, but we give them to the corrupt governments of other countries, and our country is corrupt too. But anyway, that's a different thing. I do get into some politics on another channel that I have, but you know, definitely world hunger is a problem, and that's something that they talk about on here. Yeah, this is a fantastic song, and I give it a 9.4. The album flow is a 10 out of 10. I think it's a great idea, just from beginning to end. I think there's not just musically, but also lyrically, there's a solid message throughout. And just, yeah, so 10 out of 10 for the flow. You know, I think obviously I really like this album. It was probably done on cheaper equipment. You know, it doesn't sound like a highly funded project. It's not very popular. Even most Beach Boys fans aren't aware of it. And yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it was a hit like in Europe or something. I don't know. But even on YouTube, it doesn't get a lot of hits. So, you know, a lot of plays. So I don't think it's, you know, it's just kind of buried, kind of like the Four Seasons album, one of the first albums I reviewed on my favorite albums, called American Gazette, something, where it's very artistic and creative, but very few people really have heard it or heard of it. And so that's kind of like this one. So, it's what I would consider, there's this term today called indie rock or whatever, which I think is more of the last 30 years kind of a term. But there was, independent kind of music back then as well. I don't know if they called it that or not, but that's kind of what this is, and it's got a uniqueness to it. And I do like Jack Rieley's voice. It's not the best voice, but he's got a unique one. So, and plus his lyrical ability is very poetic. Some might consider them to be a little too, trying to be something, trying a little too egotistical kind of lyrics. I don't know if I'm giving the right words here, but I like them and for songs, and so that's kind of some thoughts on this album.
So now I will pull out my handy dandy computer and calculate my formula.
And this album gets an 8.17 out of 10. Thank you and have a wonderful day.